If it won't kill you, which these 5 things won't kill you, then it's worth the risk. This is episode 5 of the Under Renovation podcast, where I share my stories and experiences in hopes that you can learn something from them, but also so that I can learn from them, grow, and move forward. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. If you clicked on this video, it wasn't by chance. It was because you are ready. You are ready to take the risk in your life, because you know deep down that that's the reason why you clicked on this. And I'm going to convince you, if you're not already convinced, I will convince you on why you should take the risk. Before we get started, I think it's really important that we define what risk is. Because, when you hear the word risk, you're like, well, I don't want to put myself in a bad situation. Okay, let me define it. I define risk as doing something with uncertainty of the outcome. Oftentimes people will do stuff because they know, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. It feels safe. You can't always feel safe if you want to try new things and put yourself out there. There are 2 types of risk. There are good risk and there's bad risk. Now, good risk is calculated and informed risk, while bad risk is impulsive and uncalculated. I think to explain this in the simplest of terms, good risk would be if it doesn't kill you, whereas bad risk means like it could kill you or it could put you in a really, 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 really bad situation. A good risk would be nurturing and working towards building your own company. There's risk involved in that, but good risk about building an empire and something that's your own. A bad risk would be putting all your money on red and hoping that you win big. If you want to take a risk, just be informed of what could happen, what the outcomes could be, but don't dwell on what a worst case scenario could be. If you constantly keep moving forward and keep working at whatever you're working at every single day, then the worst case scenario will never happen. And you shouldn't even be looking at the worst case scenario. You should be looking at the best case scenario. What is the best case scenario? And then whatever that best case scenario is, double it. Because what you think is going to be the best case scenario, if you keep showing up for yourself and taking these good risks, it's going to be something you could have never imagined. Keep taking those good risks, keep showing up every single day. Don't be naive and take bad risk and hope that I'm going to buy a lottery ticket and then I'm going to win. I hear that so often. I've heard that over the course of my life so often. People like, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to win the lottery. But like the amount of money that you have spent on lottery tickets, do you know how much that probably would have equivalated to that you could have put in a savings account and saved and had interest on that? Or if you know about investing, like you could have invested that money that could have grown over time. Instead, you're hoping to win by chance and have luck. And well, taking a risk on yourself and buying lottery tickets both don't have a definite outcome. You don't know what the end result is. I can definitely tell you that investing in yourself has way higher odds of success than buying a lottery ticket and hoping to win. Earlier I was saying that good risk is like things that won't kill you, and then you have bad risk, which is like things that could kill you or things that could put you in danger, X, Y, and Z. I like to think of the Kelly Clarkson song where she goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, stand a little taller. If you're watching this, I'm bopping. Let's talk about that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What often gets in the way of people feeling like they can take that risk is, well, I wrote down 5 things. Number 1 is failure. Number 2, embarrassment. Number 3, opinions of others. Number 4, imposter syndrome. And number 5, saying the wrong thing. If it won't kill you, which these 5 things won't kill you, then it's worth the risk. Okay, let's briefly talk about each one of these things, because I know that one of these 5 things are probably why you won't start or you're not willing to take the risk. Starting off with failure. Now, quick little story time. Growing up, whenever I was asked, what's your biggest fear? I used to say failure. I am terrified to fail. And then as I grew up, I realized, oh, I don't need to be afraid of failure for 2 reasons. 1, because it won't kill me. And 2, because I can learn from it and it's actually a really beneficial thing to fail. I know you might be listening to be like, oh my God, well, I don't want to fail because then like everything I worked for, what was it the purpose? And I don't want to do it. Like if you fail, you learn something. And that is the most valuable thing, is to learn. When you learn where you made mistakes or where your shortcomings were, you're able to take that and then show up even better the next and move forward. I kind of like laugh about this because sometimes people will be like, oh, I just don't have the time to fail time and time again. Babe, check your screen time. You got the time. You got the time. Oftentimes when I think about failure in my own life, I think about content creation. I think about trying to live a more healthier lifestyle. In terms of eating and exercise, I have time and time again tried to have a consistent workout schedule, have consistent eating habits, and then I would fall back into bad habits. This was really discouraging because I'd have momentum being like, oh my God, like I'm doing really well right now because it's summer, but then as soon as like school came around, all my habits would dwindle and crumble and they would just disappear. I think something in my brain was subconsciously telling me that it's going to be the same every single time. I'm just going to give up and then have to start from square one. And that is when it clicked. I realized that if I stopped giving up and I just kept showing up every single day, then I wouldn't have to start from square one again. I wouldn't fail. I would just have kept going and just be okay with how long it takes. I think oftentimes people don't even start because they're afraid of failure or that they don't want to have to wait to see how long it will take. People don't want to do things without knowing that there will be a definite outcome on the other side. But here's the thing. There is a definite outcome when you show up and you invest in yourself, but you might not know what that looks like exactly. And what I mean by that, for example, is when I started trying to eat better at the beginning of this year and working out and going on walks, I didn't know how long it would take for me to see results. But I showed up every single day. Anyways, eventually I saw results and I go, oh my gosh, this is what I've been working towards. And I kept going. But then it will be a while before I see that next checkpoint. And you really just have to keep showing up for yourself and you'll see the results, but things take time. It's why people say good things take time. The question now is, are you willing to give that time because you're truly passionate or really want whatever it is that you want? For example, I don't think in the past when I've tried to eat better or have a more consistent workout routine or exercise that I do every single day, I genuinely don't think I wanted it that bad in the past. And then, like I said, something clicked and I was like, oh, okay, like if I just don't give up and I just keep going, then I won't have to start over again. I want this so bad. And I think when you genuinely want something so bad and you make it a priority in your life, you will see the results. There's a whole mindset around being able to achieve things and not giving up on yourself. And if you don't give up on yourself, you won't fail. Also, like I said, it's not a bad thing to fail. Like, look at your past failures, learn from them and move on. That's like literally the essence of this podcast, is to like learn from past experiences and how can you take those and grow from them. We're all under renovation. We're all constantly growing and learning. And I think that, failure is a beautiful thing and it's not a bad thing. Even assess your own life and see what you can learn from your past failures. Now, the next one I'm going to combine, which is embarrassment and opinions of others, because I believe that they go hand in hand. I want to say that if it's something you love doing, then you won't be embarrassed because you are passionate about it. It's a mindset shift. But I feel like people might disagree with this. As an example, for me was when I was doing content creation in the past, as I said in previous episodes, that I felt tied to posting what did well on my account. And then I ended up not posting what I love. And that's why I was embarrassed, because when I went back, I was like, oh my God, why did I post this? Like, oh, I posted it because it was trendy or I was trying to go viral. Silly, but that was a failure that I had and I learned from it. And now I know what I'm posting now. I feel really passionate about it. And because I feel passionate about it, I don't don't feel a sense of embarrassment or really care about the opinions of others. In, a previous episode with Choose Your Inner Circle Wisely, actually the last episode, I think it's important to take opinions from those who are in your inner circle. And if they're genuinely concerned about something that you're doing, or, take those opinions, but you don't need to take the opinions of others that aren't really in that inner circle. Getting over embarrassment and caring about the opinions of others is genuinely a mindset shift. And it is one that honestly took me 23 years. I don't think until this year that I genuinely can say that I don't care about the opinions of others, and that I will do what makes me happy, and I will chase my dreams, and I have big goals and aspirations. So I genuinely cannot let other people get in the way of that. Now, in terms of embarrassment, that is something you can control because you get to decide whether you're embarrassed or not. And if you just decide that you don't feel embarrassed, then you won't be embarrassed. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with if you're doing something you love, why would you be embarrassed? So that is in your control. So you can handle that. But what isn't in your control is what people think of you. No matter how hard you try to change people's mind about you, they already have an idea of who you are in their mind, and it is not your responsibility to change that. So you just need to continue showing up for yourself, take the risks that are going to help you move you forward in life, and move on. This is the wise words of a 23-year-old. When you're in high school, you care so much about what people think about you and whether people think you're cool or you fit in. And you know what? No one cares now. You're out of high school. You don't even think about it. You don't even care. But you cared so much when you were in it. And I get it. I was there, obviously. It is different when you're in it. But if you can understand that you have zero control of what people decide, what they think about you, and what they choose to believe about you, that will give you so much peace to let go of that. And when you can finally let go of caring what other people think or wondering what other people think of you, you'll be able to genuinely do anything, and taking those risks will not seem hard because you don't care. On to number 4, which is imposter syndrome. This often happens when you're trying out something new or you're working on yourself, and there's kind of this, you're in limbo of like who you currently are and like where you're trying to go, and you're in this in between, and it honestly feels like you're acting a little bit because you are genuinely trying to change who you are as a person. Because you're actively trying to become a better version of yourself, it will feel weird. It'll feel like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't be the one doing this. This feels strange. Like, I feel like I'm cosplaying a content creator right now. Like, no, like I am. This is what I do. But sometimes it can feel weird when you're entering a new domain or something you've never done before. I get it. It feels weird, but if you can grasp in your mind that this is just a part of the journey, and kind of this like imposter syndrome will just like genuinely happen, and then like one day it will just go away because you're so used to it. Kind of have to take those risks and then keep moving forward, taking more risk to eventually get to where you want to be, and then you won't feel that anymore. I don't know if I can attest for other people if they've ever felt imposter syndrome and if they still feel imposter syndrome. I feel like it just gets easier as you keep showing up for yourself. Okay, this last one is saying the wrong thing. I like to think about the example of when you're in class and the teacher asks you a question, and clearly so many people in class know the answer, but no one wants to raise their hand and give an answer because they're afraid of saying the wrong thing and then experiencing embarrassment. And then they fear, what are people going to think about me because I got the answer wrong? And now like I just feel a certain way. That's just one example. Let me give another example. So in content creation, many people feel as if they don't know where to start and they fear saying the wrong thing. What if I sound silly? I'm going to be embarrassed. What are people going to think? It's all a trial and error process. So many things in life are. No one came out of the womb and just knew how to do everything. Everyone had to learn how to do what they know how to do, which means that everyone had to start from square one and just not give up on themselves. And I'm sure that a lot of your favorite celebrities or your favorite content creators, whoever it is, I'm sure that they have felt in their life that they have said something in an interview or whether it was in class or with a family setting that they feel like they said the wrong thing and maybe they felt embarrassed, but you didn't even notice. And I honestly think that's like the main thing is we constantly are like our biggest critics and we'll like criticize ourselves and be like, oh, I sounded weird or looks silly. Like, I don't know how I feel about this, but no one notices. No one cares. You notice because you're so critical of yourself and you want things to be perfect. But I think if you just realize that nothing needs to be perfect, you can take the risk, you can mess up. Everything is going to be okay. Let me say that again. Everything is going to be okay. Genuinely trust in yourself. Trust that you will show up for yourself every single day. Trust that you will eventually see results. Trust that you are going to make it. If you do that, you will be just fine. If you can overcome these 5 things, you're golden. Sure. There's 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't take the risk, but I can think of 1,001 reasons why you should. Let me give you a couple. 1, you will never be younger than you are right now. Now think about where you were a year ago and where you are now. If you could talk to your past self, would you be asking them and begging them and being like, just start, just do it, please just start? Because now a year has passed and you could have started a year ago, but for some reason you didn't. So now if you're listening to this, you are literally the youngest you're ever going to be. So start now so that a year from now, you're not going to be looking back to this moment where you're watching this right now going, oh man, I should have started whenever I watched that video. And then I should have started the year before. You're not going to die if you take a good risk. You owe it to yourself to see what you're capable of. Even if it's not a traditional path and your whole entire family has followed a traditional path, your extended family, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you feel like that's not what is for you, then just because everybody around you is doing that doesn't mean you have to. If you're saying, I just don't have the time, well, make time. You have to make things in your life a priority. I always like to say, check your screen time because man, we all spend so much time on our phones. We don't even notice it. And then you go look at your screen time and you're like, oh my God, 7 hours? Insane. Truly, you need to assess your life and ensure max functionality. Time maxing. It's probably the cringiest thing in this whole video. You have to time max. It's like I'm kind of joking, but I'm also not. I feel like you have to make the most of your time. And if you do that, you can get so many things done in a day. I love having this little notebook and I do so many to-do lists and I'm constantly like, okay, this is what I need to get in the morning. This is what I need to do. This. I get so much stuff done. It is wonderful. I am productivity maxing. I'm a student, so I don't have a full-time job, but I understand that people do. And I think when you have a full-time job, whether you're working like 8 to 4 or like 9 to 5, 7 to 3, whatever it is, can often feel draining to work all day. And then when you come home, you're like, I just want to sit down and I just want to make dinner, whatever it is, and then put on a show, relax, go to bed. But what happens, people often get stuck in this loop of routine, and it's not really a good routine to be constantly coming home tired, angry, miserable. I want to make dinner, then I want to sit on the couch and watch TV, and then I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to do it again every single day for the next 40 years. Your time is of the essence. It is so valuable, which is why the second most valuable currency, which is money, is why they pay people for their time, because time is the most valuable currency. I've talked about this in previous episodes that you need to assess your life. What is holding you back? How can you make your life function better? Are you getting enough sleep? If you're going to bed at like midnight and you work 7 to 3, no wonder you are tired when you get home. You literally are not letting yourself recharge. Just like phones, we need to charge so that we have enough juice to run throughout the day. There are also so many other areas of your life that need to be attended to ensure max functionality. And if you're not tending to those areas, then yeah, things are going to seem harder. Things are going to feel more draining. Even for me, I noticed that before I went to Osheaga, I was, in my momentum. I had really good rhythm. I was like productivity maxing. And then when I got back and, I'm finally like kind of recovered now. Like my voice is better and I feel like I have more energy. But man, it's because I wasn't getting enough sleep. I wasn't drinking enough water. Part of my functionality was off. And so I wasn't able to make the most of my time. And it was honestly kind of discouraging because I'm like beating myself up like, oh my God, I could have gotten so much more done had I just gotten more sleep. And so right now it's 5:08. So I'm like, okay, I got 3 hours. I gotta go to bed at 8 p.m. And that seems ridiculous to some people. I go try to get to bed at 8. So I'm like asleep by 8:30 and then up at 5. I get it. Sometimes that's not realistic for every single person because everybody has different routines, different lifestyles, but you need to figure out what works for you. We do have the time. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. Yes, everybody lives different lives, but you need to figure out what works for you and make sure that you're tending to your life in all areas so that you can flourish and show up for yourself. If you're deciding and making decisions to make bad habits by not getting enough sleep, by, I want to say, drinking too much, like if you are constantly sloshed all the time every weekend, your productivity is going, you're never going to be able to find a rhythm to be productive. If you're constantly eating food that just makes you feel like shit, then you're not going to be able to show up for yourself because you don't have the proper nutrition to function and work well. To say you work well. This is all in realms of sometimes you have to sacrifice comfort, like sitting in front of the TV and watching a movie every single night. If you have time to sit on the couch and scroll on your phone for hours or to watch TV or a movie every single night because that's your relaxing, then you can't say that you don't have time to show up for yourself in these other areas of your life. It's time to assess your life. It's time to look at the big picture and see what do you really want in life and are you really willing to take the risk? And if you're not, but you want to, ask yourself what is getting in the way and why are you what are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of and why can't you just do it? Ponder on that. And in the next episode 6 is why you need to start cherishing your mornings. So you can look forward to that. So whatever you're afraid of that is stopping you from taking this risk, even though you want to so badly because you want to see what you're capable of, you need to push it out of the way. You need to lock in and you need to reassess your life. You need to see what is holding me back. What can I do that will push me forward? Why am I scared to take this risk? Why do I want to take this risk? You need to ask yourself all these questions. I know, internal reflection. Oh my God, I don't want to have to think about these things. It's important to think, even though as much as it's great to not be able to think, you need to really assess. And once you do that, you'll realize whether you're really, really willing to take the risk and want to take the risk. Just know that you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel like it's a good time to take a risk, but you just have to do it. You just have to dive into the deep end. I would always think about when I'm at the lake, cottage, or you're at a pool party, whatever it is, and everybody jumps in. Meanwhile, I've dipped my toe in 20 times going, oh, it's so cold, because you're afraid of that initial shock of when you jump in and how cold it is. But suddenly, everybody else has been swimming for 20, 30 minutes, and you still haven't jumped in. By the time you jump in, everybody wants to get out. And you're saying, wow, I wish I would have jumped in sooner. Because you know what the reality is that the water never got warmer. So the same thing goes for risk. You know you want to jump in and take this risk, but the fear of embarrassment, failure, what other people think about you, imposter syndrome, like saying the wrong thing, that is what is holding you back from taking the risk. If you realize that the water is not getting warmer, you realize, okay, it doesn't matter. I just need to jump in. And the same goes for you for risk. All of your fears, and realize that you want to jump in the water anyways, so you just need to jump in. This is your sign and you need to take it. All right, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you were able to take something from this and really reflect on it and move forward. Like I said, episode 6 will be why you need to start cherishing your mornings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to chat again soon. Love you. Bye.